Attention. It's Will Back motherfucking Wednesday.
Buddy gon' grit that, send shots, make him get back. All that chit chat, riff rap, my niggas ain't into that.
Come on, bro, it's Woo Back Wednesday every fucking day. Let's go, dude. Alright, different type of video. Today, I thought I'd give some tips on how to survive in Dead by Daylight. I don't want this video to be too long, so I'm just gonna give a few basic tips if you're new to Dead by Daylight. I know the game's been out for like 4 years now, which is kind of crazy now that I think about it. But some people are still new to Dead by Daylight. It's quite a popular game. But yeah, I'm just gonna go over the things that I think are important and what you should really know if you're brand new to Dead by Daylight. And hopefully you guys learn something too. Now, I know in my videos, I sound fucking scared of the game.
Cups at a rose, bitches in my whole phone.
But look how creepy it looks just fucking staring at me, dude. Fucking hell. Dude, can you stop staring at me, you fucking weirdo, dude? Look at him. Look at him, this creepy dude.
Cups at a rose.
Fuck this, dude. Get away from me. Well, hopefully we get this gen done.
Bitches in my whole phone.
It's because I am, but I fucking love it. So, like, it counters each other out, right? But yeah, Dead by Daylight, you need to play this game kind of without fear, because once you get past that stage, that first stage of fear, everything turns out to be all right. All right, with all that out the way, let's get into the video. So the first tip I could give you is make sure you know how to loop. Looping is pretty simple. You just want to waste as much of the killer's time as you possibly can. So you just want to keep going around the pallet until the killer's coming through. But sometimes if the killer does catch up to you, it's probably better to just run through the pallet as opposed to just putting it down and taking the hit, because that way you lose a pallet and you get hit. So if you know you're gonna get hit regardless, then just don't throw it down, just take the hit and fucking move on, dude. But yeah, the aim of the game when looping is to literally waste as much of the killer's time as you can. You want to loop them as long as you can and throw down the pallet at the last second possible. So looping is one element that I think you need to be somewhat stronger, because if you don't know how to play around with windows, then at least know how to loop, and that can really help you improve your gameplay to start with. Okay, moving on. The second thing you need to do to survive in Dead by Daylight: do the goddamn generators. The more time you're on generators, the higher chance you have of escaping and surviving.
Oh my god! Wow!
So essentially, you want to get those 5 generators done as quick as you can. So make sure you're not being useless. Don't just like sit around in a bush and do nothing. I mean, that will hinder both you and your team from escaping and will probably lead to more casualties. I know it sounds simple, I know it sounds basic, but if you want to know how to survive in Dead by Daylight, you got to do the basics first. So make sure you're always working on a generator. Doing generators will put pressure back on the killer. So if a killer's only had 1 or 2 hooks and 2 or 3 generators have been already done, that puts a lot of pressure on the killer, because not only do they have to check on all the generators, they have to know when to commit to a chase and when not to. So if a survivor takes a killer away from a generator, that leaves time for other survivors to do the generators, and that can lead to your team escaping and surviving. So yeah, make sure you're always doing generators. The next tip I could give you is mind games. Mind games is a 50-50. You kind of have to expect where the killers go, and they're kind of going to expect where you're going to go. So it's like a back and forth battle of who can win the mind game battle. That is what Dead by Daylight is. Like, if you're looping, it's who can win the mind game battle, because more time, a better killer will try cut you off and move back rather than just keep moving forward and taking a pallet stun. So it's all about mind games. But I feel like mind games is a part that will come naturally to you as you play the game for longer. So what I suggest is, once you start nailing down your looping, I feel like that's the time to try implement mind games around those loops. So whilst you're looping, you can try mind game the killer and see how they react. And then once you know what they do they tend to walk into the pallet? Do they tend to respect it? And then you can build from that and try mind game the killer in every situation you can. Because that way you'll waste more of the killer's time, you'll give your team time to do generators, and then you can escape and survive. It's a win-win. My next tip is camera movement. I know it sounds really basic and simple, but you'd be surprised. You gotta use your camera to your best of your advantage. You need to know when to look behind you. So if the killer is closing in, you need to be able to turn around and look at the killer to see how much time you've got till you have to throw down the pallet. Now, I know a lot of people, the reason why they're stuck in like the lower ranks, like the rank 18, 17, 16s, they don't utilize their camera movement. They're always looking forward, perhaps because they're scared. I know that when I started playing Dead by Daylight, I feel like it's just a natural thing to just be scared of the game. But I feel like as you play more Dead by Daylight, you just improve in everything and you get less scared of the game, and then you just become more comfortable. Of course, there's gonna be some times where you get fucking jump scared, dude, but it is what it is, you know what I mean? Like, that's like the part of the game that keeps you on your seat. But yeah, you gotta be able to use your camera movement to look back at the killer, and look forward. You need to be able to be aware of your surroundings, especially if there's a stealth killer. So if you're working on a generator and you're not using your camera movement efficiently, aka looking left and right, back and forth continuously, you might get pulled off the generator and you're going to be like, fuck dude, I'm trash. And the last thing I want to touch on is 360s. Now 360s are usually like a last ditch movement. If you're running away from the killer, you've got no pallet, you're in open barren land, and you've got nowhere to go. You whip out a 360. Now, 360s are a 50-50. Sometimes they'll work, sometimes they won't. Sometimes you come up against a boosted killer, you don't know how to counter it, and sometimes you won't. So it all depends on the killer. If the killer is kind of trash, you could probably get away with 360 him quite a few times. But if he's not, good luck. Well then, I think that's gonna do it then. I think that's the most basic tips I could give you to survive in Dead by Daylight. But yeah, thank you guys for watching this video. If you did enjoy this video, feel free to check out my other stuff on my channel. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys in my next video. I'm out.
High, looking in your eyes got me helpless. Why?